New torch in for testing today. I have the Rofis TR10. This is a brand new model that's just come out, and this has been sent to me by Rofis for review. As I usually do, I'll list out areas that I find better or weaker during the review. We'll have a quick look at the box case now, and you can see on the side here it's got it attached to a head strap. You can also swivel the head round and look in the picture. You can see just how small this unit is. This is the front of the box. And then we'll move on to the side. Pay attention to some of the settings here. We have a maximum output of 900 lumens. There's a throw of 139 meters, and the candela rating is 4,855. So we're looking for a fairly wide beam on this. On the back section, we have some more detailed specs. It's using the XBL High V3 LED, which has been quite common in many of the Rofis torches that I've looked at. You also get a set of spare O-rings. Make sure that you grease those up when you fit those. And the hand strap that's included is the same as the other Rofis torches that I've looked at. So you have an adjuster in the middle here, and that's quite handy because you stick it on your wrist and you can tighten it up so it doesn't fall off. Decent quality hand strap. You get a warranty and the user manual. And here you'll see some of the details. The features here, we have the head rotation is the main one. We have 6 brightness levels in total, including the moonlight mode, and there is a lockout function 2 and 3 strobe modes. I've listed out the power outputs and run times here. This will vary depending on the battery type that you're using. So take a look at that and pause that if you need to. You'll see we have a good range of settings there. Now taking a look at the torch, as you can see it's quite a compact unit, and it has a very similar design to the other Rofis torches that I've looked at that use the swivel head function. You have a clip that is pre-fitted, and you can also reverse that around. This is the Type 3 anodized aluminium. As we've seen with the other torches, it's scratch resistant. Fit and finish on this feels very good, as I'd expect for the price. You'll see here the power button is recessed, but you also have a lockout function if you need to use that. Now the standout feature is obviously the swivel head. This has a 90-degree swivel, so it clicks into place, and they've got the feel of that just about right, I think. It's not too loose and it's not too tight. And you can see that the size of the torch is a really nice size for the hand, and this is a good size for a pocket torch as well. Here's a quick look at the LED. You can see the reflector has an orange peel effect or a dimpled effect. That should spread out the light a bit more. Unscrewing the back cap, you'll see we have a spring on the base cap, and inside there's also another gold-plated spring. Screwing that back up. Now if you're going to use a battery, you can buy this with or without the Rofis cell, but if you're going to get it without, you save about £10, but make sure you check the wattage power on the watts per hour, because the lower rated cells won't be able to hit the full turbo mode before the activation starts. You can also use these disposable CR123A cells too, so I'm just fitting to the torch and then screwing the cap back on. Here's a quick measurement here I'm taking with the tape measure. You can see it's just over 8 centimeters long, or 3¼ inches. And I'm going to compare it to the TR10, which is a model that I also recently looked at, which is a fair bit smaller than some of the 18650s. But as you can see, Rofis have an even smaller torch with this new model, the TR10. Now both of these have a swivel head function. The TR18 has a 270-degree swivel, but I'll fit it to the 90 degrees so you can see here. The TR10 has the magnetic section built in, whereas the TR18 you have a separate screw-in section, and you can see here the magnetic force in action. It grips quite tightly onto that. Quick comparison, comparing it to the Olight S1R baton. And you can see it's a touch longer, and the girth is a little bit larger as well. It's still pretty small though. Now the Olight has a few additional features, such as the charging dock, the magnetic charging dock, but once you swivel the head around, the size is actually not much different between them. It's actually a touch smaller still than the Rofis, but both of these are very easy pocket torches, and they're not going to take up much space in a bag. Now running through the operation, it's similar to the other models that I've looked at. A single press for on and off, and you push and hold to change through the power levels. and then release when you're finished. Quite straightforward, works quite well, and it doesn't take too long to pick that up. If you multi-press 3 presses, you'll enter the strobe mode, and then press for a short period of time, a second or so, and let go, and you'll cycle through the 3 available strobe patterns that are there. This avoids you accidentally setting the strobe mode off. What you don't have with this torch is an instant turbo, although it does have a memory for the last setting that's been used. Now you push and hold when you're powering on to enter the moonlight mode. You can see it here. If you continue to push and hold whilst it's gone into the moonlight mode, you enter the lockout mode. You see here I've entered that. You can't activate it again unless you push it and hold for another 3 or 4 seconds. When the battery power is low, the LED comes on red, and you'll see that it drops down the power level. It's a useful battery indicator to have. Now here's my test for the water resistance. This is IPX rated at 8, so it's submersible. So you can see here I've left it in here for about 20 minutes. There's no problems at all with the torch running. This is the moonlight mode, rated to around about 3 lumens, and that seems about right. I have seen slightly lower lumen ratings for moonlight modes, but I'm happy enough that this is low enough level to keep most people happy. And here we can have an example just outside. This is for really up close work, or if you need to conserve the battery power. Taking a look at the beam shot now, you can see we have a concentrated section in the middle and a spread on the outside, so it's pushing a bit more power in the middle than some of the smaller pocket torches that I've been looking at, but it still has some spread. I'm comparing it now for the long range shot, about 100 foot, to the Olight S1R baton. This torch has a special lens over the LED, cycling through the power levels. You can see it spreads out the light very evenly. It's one of the few torches that I've looked at that has a very, very even spread. There's no hot spots at all with the Olight. Now Rofis have gone for a slightly different design. They've gone for a bit more punch in the middle area, so you have higher intensity in the middle. You still have some peripheral spread, but it's not quite the same. But you do get a bit extra range out of this, and the Rofis can hold its high turbo mode for a bit longer. The Olight drops down after about 30 seconds. So it's really down to your own personal preference with this. They're both quite powerful torches for their compact size. This is just my test now at a lower level, cycling through the power levels. And you'll start to see the spread once they go up to the mid and high levels. You can see the edge illumination. It's quite a wide beam. It is pushing a bit more light into the middle area, and that helps give it a bit more range over some of the other torches. The orange peel reflector is spreading out the light a bit on the outer areas too. It's quite a nice light pattern. It's a compromise between throw and a flood effect, so you get a bit of both with this torch rather than one specific. Most of these torches would be more of a flood effect. Here I am zooming in just to show you the power levels here. Touch more range than some of the smaller torches that I've looked at. This is the tree test that I do, distance of about 45 feet. You can see that the Rofis lights that up quite well. A decent spread on this torch, and you'll see that more at the close range test. This is about 7 to 8 feet away, and here you can see quite a nice wide beam, but you do have that concentrated area in the middle, which gives you a bit more intensity in the central area. Running through these strobe modes now, we start off with the beacon that flashes incrementally every couple of seconds for a location signal, and then moving on to the standard SOS with the 3 short and 3 long strobes. And finally, the last strobe mode is the rapid and slower flashing at the same time. Rofis have this very well covered on the strobe side of things. Really, if you have any desires for multiple strobe modes, they're satisfied here. Most makers only have maybe 1 or 2. Now, because it's magnetic and the fact you can swivel the head is a major advantage in some situations where you can angle it around. You can also turn the torch around to get the exact angle that you need. So I find that a particularly good feature, and it's something which is a standout area of this particular range from the company. And I have always liked the idea and concept because you don't have to use a swivel. Here you can see it's attached to a baseball cap, quite a light torch, and it easily attaches to a bag or a hat. Now, summing up with the Rofis, mostly positive feelings on this. I do like the swivel head. I think it is a big design feature, and I think it's something which the company has caught on to, and perhaps some other makers would do well to look at that because it is pretty useful. I do use it quite a lot on some of these torches. Saying that, it's not all perfect. I perhaps would have preferred a method of charging the battery in the torch, possibly a micro USB port or some kind of dock. That would be something that I would find useful. The TR10 doesn't have the anti-loss mode that some of the other TR models have. That wasn't a huge feature, but it's something which was quite nice. On the positive side, excellent power output. You have a good balanced beam on this, which will suit many users. It's not too much flood. You have a bit of extra range with it too. I also like the 6 power levels and 3 strobe modes. The swivel head and magnetic base are the standout features for this particular model, and I think they'll go down very well with users. It's quite unique really for this size of torch, and that's something which I find very appealing.